See, Leslie Roberts had a problem. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to copy Zevy's thing, though I am a big fan. But actually, let's talk about this guy, Leslie Roberts, Miami-based art dealer and scammer extraordinaire, scammer spectacolare. I have never seen someone so committed to the game. Let me give you this guy's rap sheet. All right. First of all, when he was a kid, he forged his own report card and transcript to NYU. Then he defrauded his great uncle out of $9 million of fake stock trades when he was at a penny stock exchange, which is sort of like the scammy stock exchanges of the 80s that Jordan Belfort was involved in. He then pleaded guilty to mail fraud. It was actually 19 counts of mail fraud and sent to 15 years in federal prison when he was 23 years old. He then gets out after 10 years and he opens an art gallery in Miami. He's then caught and convicted for selling fake Romero Brito artworks and then running a Peter Max forgery ring where his children were actually creating the fakes in his own gallery. By the way, in this time frame, he also was sued 8 times for related petty things like not paying people and all sorts of just crazy scams. By the way, side note, just so you have a little image in your head, this is Romero Brito. This is a real work. He's a Brazilian artist that does these bold colors and pop art inspired cubist paintings. And then this is Peter Max, who does a lot of psychedelic art. And he actually was an early consultant for the Yellow Submarine album cover, which is why a lot of his work sort of looks reminiscent of kind of that Beatles, vibe. Anyways, he then files for bankruptcy and then reincorporates his business somehow. And then just a year later, he's sued by the Perlman family for selling $6 million in fake Warhols. And this takes us to today's story, where the FBI just a month ago raided his gallery, indicted him for for wire fraud, and he faces 30 years in prison. Oh, and maybe my favorite fact of all, he's 5'3". So anyways, our little short king here, when he's scamming the Perlmans, he is actually using fake email addresses for the Andy Warhol Foundation because he was telling them that he had connections to the foundation and he could get Andy Warhol works cheap from them and then they could sell the works for more money later. By the way, if any dealer tells you they can do that, it's a scam. Run the other way. I don't have the time in this video to explain why that's not how it works, but that is very much so not how it works. Then, when they had the works from Warhol looked at, some experts said that they thought that the works were fake. And so then Leslie Roberts, the scammer art dealer, gets some specialists from Phillips Auction House, which is a very respected auction house, to come in, and they conducted a review and said that the paintings were real. They authenticated them. So the Perlmans thought. However, it turns out that the 2 people weren't from Phillips. They were actually posing as Phillips employees, and they were actually Leslie Roberts' cronies who were posing, and they even had fake business cards. A retired FBI agent who's kind of worked on the case and also has investigated Roberts a lot said it's one of his top 3 art fraud cases, which is a big deal. And lastly, this does not explain or excuse any of his behavior, but I always believe in at least attempting to humanize people, even the people that we think are ridiculous. And when Leslie Roberts was 13, his mother, Clara, shot and killed his father as he slept and was convicted of murder and sent to 20 years in prison. That's when they went to live with their great aunt and uncle. And, he had a rough life. That's a brutal thing to go through. Now, that does not explain the scamming, and in fact is a great aunt described him as a charming conniver who tended to exaggerate everything. But anyways, this is an evolving case, and we shall see what happens to this guy. He might be going away for a while, but if he ever gets out, my money's on him doing the same thing. By the way, I'm making more of these art, history, news, breakdown videos, so if you're interested and want more of them, follow me. All right, that's all. Mwah, 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 mwah.